think anytime you know or you even think that it's going to be an unpopular position, if you still roll with that and you still decide to do that thing, to take that action, to make that statement, that takes a lot of courage.
Adrienne has a deep, impressive resume, but what you will find in this conversation is that she lives authentically herself and is committed to growth. Get ready to be inspired by her journey and the wisdom that she shares. Welcome to Cake and Courage mini-series. I'm Colleen Howard, the host, cake lover, and seeker of stories of bravery and courage. From life-changing risk to everyday acts of bravery, we uncover what it truly means to be courageous and indulge in some sweet treats along the way. Adrienne, thank you so much for joining us. I gave a little introduction, but do you mind sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, hello. My name is Adrienne. I live and work in South Georgia. I am a criminal defense lawyer. I'm partnered with my partner. We have a law firm. It's Tucker & Browning. We have an associate attorney here and some staff, and we do primarily criminal defense work.
Yes, that is incredible. And I want to share how we first met. I remember walking into your partner's office before you guys had officially joined together and created your law firm. I don't even know what year that was, but
it's been a while.
A long time ago. And I was just immediately impressed by you, but the courage that you had to, one, go to law school and then choose this line of law to practice, and then to say, you know what, let me start my own practice, and then to choose to go into practice with somebody else was just so absolutely courageous for me. So I'm so thankful that you are sharing what courage looks like to you. And if I remember correctly, you do have a sweet tooth. Is that correct? You like sweets?
Big time.
If you had to rank desserts, what would be your top three? And if cake is not on your top three of desserts, where would you say cake would rank in like overall favorite desserts?
Cake is number one, and I'm not just saying that. Cake is number one. Cookies would be next, and then like honestly, those are my two go-tos. Like I could try to think of something to like slide in that third spot, but like I want a really good piece of cake or cupcake or a really good cookie. Other than that, those are my top two.
It's not worth the calories and or the time for me to eat it if it's not cake or cookie. So you are a girl after my own heart. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the cupcakes we have today, or Georgetown Cupcakes. And this is a company out of Washington, D.C., who has had way before Netflix was streaming, a TLC TV show. So it is a treat for me and for hopefully you too to try these cupcakes. So we've got 5 to try. The flavors are double chocolate cupcake, strawberry waffle, vanilla buttercream, strawberry cupcake, red velvet, and vanilla cake. So since we have 5, let's start with a cupcake, trying one out. Which one do you want to start with?
So I just feel it in my soul that the double chocolate is going to be my favorite. So I want to save that for last. Okay. So, and I think my second favorite will probably be just the straight vanilla buttercream. So let's start with that one.
Yes, I am chocolate and vanilla, pretty basic. I normally don't like all the flavors, but this has surprised me. So we got the BFF dozen. Now mine looks a little rough. How does yours look packaging wise?
Well, now that my fork has dug into one of them, it's but otherwise they were stunning.
Cool. What I found really impressive, and it took me a little bit, I was like, why is there a toothpick in the cupcake? Did you understand the toothpick at first?
I think it keeps the top from like falling down on it. Is that right?
I thought it was to pull them up because they're so close together and I got so sticky. But I think you're actually right.
Okay, got it.
Dive in. Cheers to our first tasting.
Cheers.
I got a big bite.
I love it.
It's a lot of icing. I respect that.
That's what I like though. I want like little cake, double the icing. The icing's got to be good though.
I agree. What do you think of the icing? I'm going to do just icing.
Yeah, let me get another little bite. I love it. I do not like whipped icing. I like straight buttercream, but straight buttercream can be like a lot at one time. So I feel like, I have no idea. I haven't like researched this company, but this feels like a 75-25, like 75 buttercream, 25 whip. So it's like a little bit of a lighter. I know I'm getting into the weeds, but that's how I feel about cupcakes.
That is so good because I feel like buttercream can't get this tall, like on its own and stay. But you're right. I think it is a good bit of mix because I am a whipped girl. Like, I would take over just straight up buttercream.
Interesting.
But this combo might be good. So, I know, what's your drink of choice? Everyone's a little different. I'm just doing water today.
Water. I'm quite boring during the week.
I'm with you. I almost poured a glass of wine and I was like, nah, it's too early in the day.
I think it's never too early, but I wasn't sure how that would pair with some of these. So I was like, you know what? Like water would just be like a nice like palate cleanser. It'll be fun.
That's exactly right. So let's talk about courage and kind of what led you to where you are today. Do you have somebody in your life that you looked up to or that you saw take an act of courage that kind of inspired you? If so, who was that person and what was that act of courage?
So this is ever evolving for me. And I was kind of thinking about the topic today. I was like, man, I really hope Colleen doesn't hate me because I feel like all of my answers are so lawyerly, like, well, this depends on this, but that's how I feel about it. And so when I say this is evolving, I mean, right out of the gate, I have to talk about my mom in terms of like my early days and kind of getting into this. She was a single mom and she raised my sister and myself by herself. She worked a full-time job, 2 jobs a lot of the times. And so just watching her, not even necessarily being explicitly taught, even though we were like, you can do anything you put your mind to, but watching her do that and knowing that I didn't have any limitations, it really, I felt like opened the door for me to do whatever I wanted. I didn't feel limited in any way, but by either being female or by my circumstances or by our socioeconomic level. I just thought that whatever I wanted to do, I was going to be able to do it by watching her and being taught that as well. So I would say kind of her, which I think I've never been in those shoes before, but raising 2 children on your own, paying all the bills, running a business, making those types of decisions. I mean, that takes like daily courage. That's not just like a single act. That just takes waking up every day and maybe being concerned about X, Y, and Z, but still continuing to persevere. And so I think that is what really allowed me to get into, go for a higher education, go into law school, just knowing that I could do that. And so I think of this in 2 almost like sections of my life. And so I give her the credit for like the early section. But once I was in law school and coming out of law school and kind of deciding what I wanted to do, and when I first started dabbling into criminal law, this is a terrifying profession. It is. And so I could talk about this forever. So I'll let you, you'll have to stop me at some point probably, but this is a terrifying profession. It is the scariest thing I've ever done and that I do on a daily basis when I walk into a courtroom and I'm sitting next to somebody who has been accused of anything from shoplifting to murder, and this is their life, and you know that their life is in your hands, and nothing is scarier than being responsible for another human. And sometimes that can be extraordinarily overwhelming. And so when I think of in those moments, I look to, honestly, my colleagues and my friends that do this. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this. there are people that are feeling the same thing I'm feeling. And then when I was really thinking about this concept and how it applies to my job, I started thinking, like, this is not a new thing. You know, attorneys have been doing this since the inception of our country. John Adams defended the British soldiers for the Boston Massacre. And of course, they were the mortal enemies right then. I started kind of looking into some of the other lawyers, and there was a lady named Mary Surratt that was charged with a conspiracy for John Wilkes Booth, with John Wilkes Booth for Abraham Lincoln's murder. Nobody would represent her. The government was trying to find her a lawyer. They found this guy named Frederick Aiken who stepped in and was willing to, you know, essentially be the bad guy, because that's how people see us sometimes. And then even currently, like my colleagues and my friends, and we represent school shooters and we represent the accused terrorists in the 9/11 actions. I mean, it's an unpopular job sometimes, and we're mocked and horrible things are said about us. And so thinking about the fact that for hundreds of years, people have done exactly what I'm doing. My colleagues do it every single day. My close friends do it every single day. And so knowing that I'm not alone in this space gives me the courage to continue to do it, and to, I hate to like dramatize it, but really to withstand some of the pressure that you feel being responsible for somebody else, and the scrutiny that you get from just the outside world.
Absolutely.
It's a long answer.
No, that's perfect. And I think it was short for a lawyer, but also just to summarize literally so much noise that goes on. And, you know, I never thought about that it has been going on forever and people have been doing it. What does that look like for you to be encouraged by those people who stepped out and were courageous then, before they had all the tools and the network that you guys have now? Like, I couldn't imagine, you know, before mental health therapy, like all the resources we have now, like people, what did they do? Like if they didn't know how to call an emotion, and yet they're responsible for people's lives and defending them. How did they process all of that? Like, so I think you're in a good time to be in a hard career.
Yeah, I do too. And the more that people understand, like, it's obviously not just this profession, but the more people understand like the pressures of this profession, like our organization, the bar always makes sure that we have resources provided to us, because they kind of understand the pressures that we face. And you know me, like, I'm on pack of a vacation bag real quick. So that's how I deal with it sometimes, is just to kind of get my work done. And then I have to kind of remove myself sometimes and, you know, just decompress that way. But it's definitely hard to find like a healthy ways to cope, and not everybody can. And so I feel fortunate that I've hopefully kind of found a good balance.
Yeah, and those things are always changing. But I know finding a good balance is always easier when you're eating a cupcake. So what would you say you want to try next? We want to go.
What a perfect transition, Colleen.
a little rough there, but which one are you feeling?
So the one that I would like to try, the one that I'm most skeptical about, which is going to be the waffle. Either one of the waffles, honestly. The waffle was like a little bit interesting to me. So let's try maybe the strawberry waffle.
Strawberry waffle.
Yeah.
I'm very, very, very intrigued by one. I've never had a waffle flavored dessert. Have you?
No, I have not.
Okay. And is it waffly like, so here's what it looks like for people watching. It looks like the icing is strawberry and the base is waffly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm so intrigued. Okay, cheers.
I cannot believe that I like that. I was honestly prepared for a negative review. I was going to be honest. But it's not overwhelming.
No. And I have like the slightest maple.
Like a tinge. It's just not too much.
But would I know it's like waffle flavor if they didn't tell me? Probably not. I could definitely taste the it's not like, it's not overwhelming strawberry or waffle.
That's really good, actually. And that is shocking to me.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I did not think, like you said, I would like it, but I feel like if I'm running out the door and I need breakfast, but I have this, like that would be the one I'd grab.
Cupcakes for breakfast. I love it.
Always here for it.
I'm also I'm really digging the icing. I'm going to probably keep saying that. It's the consistency that I think they really nailed.
I just love that, one, they're staying in place. Like, it's a lot of icing, but it's just not overwhelming strawberry. Like, sometimes just like, oh, that's a lot of flavor, or it doesn't mesh well, or it's like too rich. But that's not the case with these. Yeah. I'm very impressed. I was very skeptical of honestly all of them, but so far we are working our way through it. You gave us a little bit of background of somebody, your mom, that you look to for courage, your coworkers, people who have been in the profession before you. But do you have like a defining moment that was a time that you can remember and pinpoint back to of, okay, this was a moment I had fear, I chose courage? If so, what was that, and kind of what did it look like?
So I got earbud troubles. I thought a lot about this too, and I cannot. There's not one moment, and it is. I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is that I do this thing, and I don't know if it's a coping mechanism, but I tend to. So if I decide I want to do something hard, and what the example that I was kind of thinking about is when I decided to sign up for a marathon for the first time. I had never run a marathon before. I'd done a lot of half marathons, but I would get to like the end of 13 miles, and the way I would feel, I'm like, absolutely not. How do people do this over again after they have finished 13 miles? And so for so long, I'd run so many half marathons. I just knew, I was like, this is just not something that I can do, and that's okay. I'm not built for it. I can't train for it. But for whatever reason, a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to make it work. And so going into it, I was very nervous about the training, and even in the race, and I had done everything right. I had done everything I was supposed to do. I dealt a little bit with the injuries, and but I thought I was okay. I was really nervous about the race, little scared, and obviously, like, I ran it, and it was fine, and I've done a few since then. But looking back on it, I'm like, that wasn't that scary. So I have this thing where, like, after I do something that at the time I could say I was fearful of, and I do think it took courage, when I get out of it, I try. It's almost like my brain minimizes it. I don't know why, but I'm like, that didn't take any courage. That was, but then, you know, when I kind of sort through it in my head, I'm like, it did. Like, that was a scary thing to do. Nerve-wracking. Can your body withstand it? So I thought a little bit about that, but I wouldn't put that forth to you as like, this is my most courageous thing I've done, because it's not. It's not. But I want to give that example as like of the reason I can't just give you one thing is because I get outside of stuff, and then again, I think it's like a coping mechanism so that I can do it again, but I get outside of something scary and I'm like, it wasn't that bad. But every time, I mean, honestly, I take all of my cases seriously. I'm going to state court, and if there's a misdemeanor, if I go for a hearing, I mean, everybody's important to me. All of my cases, I take seriously. I prepare for everything. But the reality is there's less pressure on you when somebody's life is not on the line. Anytime, and I've now tried maybe 4 or 5 murder cases, maybe 6 at this point, and some other cases that carry life sentence. And every time, like, you walk into the courtroom, and it's not just the first time, it's every morning of trial. God knows it's the afternoon you walk in when the jury's deliberating, and you know you're going to have a decision. it does take courage to go in day after day and do that, and to sit next to a person who is looking at spending the rest of their life in prison if you lose, and dealing with that pressure and knowing that you have to be strong for them. Like, they get to be scared, but like, I can't be scared. Like, we can't both be scared. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's got to have the courage. And knowing that, like, I am all they have in that moment, and I'm the only thing standing between them and the government who's trying to take their liberty potentially for the rest of their life. It is kind of like my earlier answer. It's evolving, but it is a day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute decision to stay in it, stay focused, and kind of just stay in it for them. So it's not one thing. It's every time I go into something like that, with that kind of on the line, for lack of a better term, that's when I feel it the most.
Absolutely. And I know what you do is crazy important and scary, but how you just explained it, because I've never been in a courtroom, I've never had to experience it, but just hearing you say it puts me in like a whole nother, like, oh my goodness, like the fact that you chose this as your career and you do it so well, and you take care of every single client like it's probably family, and so it's just so courageous. Like, I hope you know that, like, literally not everybody could do what you do, because it's so impressive. And I remember a time, you probably don't remember this, right when you guys moved into your new office, I came in and we were talking about something, and you were just so matter of fact you were telling me somebody in your family has some health, something, and you're like, I'm going to live a healthy lifestyle. Like, that is what it is. Like, I'm making my health is a priority. Mm-hmm. And how simple. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. But you had chosen to, like, this is how I'm going to live, and that is how you live, was so also courageous to me, of you seeing something happen in your family, making a decision of like, I'm not going to let any of that happen or do everything possible to prevent it, was also just like, it stuck with me, of you seeing something, deciding, and then living your life the rest of the way in that kind of realm.
Yeah, I mean, you only have, and this is something, it's going to sound like I'm like preaching about it, but I have to tell this to myself every single day. Like, you only have so much control over life and the things that happen to you. There is stuff, and it is a lesson I continue to learn, and I have to continuously tell myself, there's only so much that I can control. I can't control what people think about me, what they say about me, what they write about me. I can't control things that happen to me. But the things that I can control, you better believe I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna control it. And if I can control the way I do my job, and the preparation I put in things, and if I can control my health and my lifestyle, the few things that I can, like, I'm sinking my talons in, and like I'm gonna make sure that I do, because so much else you can't. It just is gonna happen to you, and you have to learn how to kind of roll with the punches. But if I can control it, I'm going to.
I love that. And that's such a good way, because so many of us are control freaks. We're like, we want to control this, but when so much is out of control, it's like, okay, like, what's the point anyway? But no, you're right. If you can control it, do it. If not, roll with the punches. Mm-hmm. That's so good. Okay, let's dive into another cupcake.
You choose.
Okay, red velvet? Yes. Now, I have heard red velvet is chocolate with red dye. Have you heard that?
I do think isn't there cocoa powder in red velvet cake?
I have no clue.
I may have just made that up. I don't know, but it sounds good.
I do not like to cook or bake. I do like to consume, so I don't.
You are just the taste tester. I got it.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm interested. Okay, this one seems like mine does not have as much icing. but a good
That looks good.
A good color. Okay, what would you say? Like, do you normally like red velvet?
I love it absent nuts. Do not put nuts in my red velvet. Actually, don't put nuts in any of my dessert. Period. Nothing. No. But this looks really good.
Yep. Okay, cheers.
Cheers. I need another bite. The icing is still doing it for me, big time.
The icing is great. I feel like the cake is so dry in this one.
That's why I said I need another bite, because I kind of had the outside, because this tastes really dry. Yeah.
Yeah.
The flavor's good.
The flavor is there for sure, but I think the icing wins on this one.
Oh, definitely.
Now this one tastes a little bit more buttercreamy than whipped.
Well, it's supposed to be, I think is it a cream cheese?
Yep.
Yeah. Man, that's really, the icing is...
the icing.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, something that I've seen you post about recently that I think is crazy, and I might have misinterpreted what it was, but did you do a Disney 5K, 10K, half, and marathon all in the same weekend?
Yes, and not coincidentally, it is called the Dopey Challenge because, but it's a 5K on Thursday, a 10K on Saturday, so it's 3 miles, 6 miles, a half marathon on Saturday, which is 13, and then a full marathon on Sunday, which is 26.
And you did all of it?
All of it, ran every step of it.
That is so insane. Yesterday, I did decide to go for a little 2-mile run. Literally shin splints, uncomfortable. I was I was just thinking of your Dopey, and I was like, man, I've got to have that wrong. There's no way anybody can run all of those races in the same weekend. But
it is so, yes, but it is so, people do it and have really bad times, not length, but they don't enjoy themselves. Okay. They injure themselves. They don't finish. If you train for it, you're going to be fine. And that's how my brain works. If I decide I'm going to do something, I want to make sure that every possible, it's not going to be my fault that I fail, honestly. Right. And so that's how I handle the training. I treat the training like a job. I don't miss a run. I will run in the rain. I will run after work. I don't skip. And that's how you survive 48.6 miles over 4 days. But I want you to keep, so when I first started running, maybe 15 or so years ago, I was horrible. So slow. It hurt. I had shin splints. I thought I was dying. I literally could not run a single mile without stopping. Could not. I mean, it was embarrassing. My first 5K was humiliating. So it's not, I used to just think well, I'm just not built for it. This is just not something that I can do. Other people, you can. You just have to get past the uncomfortability of it. So I think, and the mindset. So I want you to keep doing it.
I will. So
and we could go for a run together. Then eat cupcakes.
Yeah, all at the same time. I signed up for a sprint try, and so it'll be swimming, biking, and a little 5K. So in my mind, I was like, oh, running's easy. I did a half marathon all in the rain. It was horrible, but I did that. My body will remember, I can do a 5K, no problem. And yesterday was my reminder of no, just because I did it before doesn't mean I can just pick up and do it again. My body forgot. My mind even forgot how to run. So yeah. As much as I love eating cake and having great conversations about courage, I want to remind you of how important health and life insurance can be. Whether you're self-employed, nearing retirement, or looking out for your family or employees, having the right coverage makes all the difference. For the past 7 years, I've helped my clients with health insurance from ACA Obamacare plans to private options, Medicare, making sure you're getting the right plans for your needs, life insurance, because protecting your family's future matters, and group benefits, giving small businesses big coverage options. I take the guesswork out of insurance, making sure you have a plan that truly fits your life. No gimmicks, no confusion, just real coverage and real peace of mind. Message me at Cake and Courage for free consultation today. Are you looking for delicious honey straight from the hive? Pure Southern Honey brings you 100% raw, unfiltered honey harvested with care to give you the best taste and health benefits. Drizzle it on your toast, stir it into your tea, or enjoy it straight from the spoon. No additives, no shortcuts, just nature's sweetest gift. Pure Southern Honey is a U.S.-made, family-owned business and can be ordered directly from Amazon. With over 500 five-star reviews, you do not want to miss trying Pure Southern Honey for yourself. Are you tired of streaky self-tanner or expensive salon visits? Learn how to spray tan yourself at home like a pro with my easy-to-follow online course. For just $80, you'll get a step-by-step training on how to achieve a flawless, natural-looking glow. No mess, no orange tones, just pro-level results from the comfort of your home. Save money, tan on your own schedule, and look amazing year-round. Start saving money and start spray tanning yourself today at www.ilovespraytans.com.
Salon is so impressive though. Like that is the one thing that great, now after this podcast you're gonna be like, oh, you should take courage and do it. But swimming, absolutely. Like I can, if you like, I'm looking at the river out here, and if you like threw me out there, I could survive. Like I could not drown probably, but like the actual like strokes that you have to learn to be efficient, to be able to compete in those races, like I'm so impressed. I'm gonna follow your journey.
Well, I have yet to get into the pool. And because in my mind, I'm like, I swam as a kid, like I'll be fine. And it's a very short swim. Like it's not a long swim. So I'm like, oh, I can doggy paddle my way through it, get on the bike, catch up time, then run. I'll be fine. But this is the funny part of getting in the pool is I have to work it around the spray tan, because getting in the pool will just, take spray tan right off. So and hair washing schedule, like I'm like, okay, how are we going to fit all of this in to train for this? I'm like, I just have to be really good. And like when I'm in there, like train and then run in and bike the rest.
I feel that in my soul. So when you figure out that perfect schedule, you let me know.
I don't know if there is one, but I'll definitely be on the lookout and let you know. With courage, you kind of, talked about every single time you go into the courtroom, you've got to tap into the courage and confidence for you and your client. Is there anything coming up in your near future that you're a little afraid of, or really having to tap into your I got this courage? If so, what is it?
I would say there's not one specific kind of, I guess, case that we're always like on notice for trials, and it could be something minor, it could be something big. So like, I guess there's just I'm sure this is very healthy, but there's like some sort of like low level, just constant anxiety that just kind of hangs out in our chest until we like hear that something's coming up for trial. And then when you're in, that mode, it's go time. That's when, the fear starts kind of creeping in, and that's when you really got to kind of tap into your courage, tap into what, I think that's when I start thinking back about all the, how I got here, and thinking about all the people who've come before me and the people that do this with me. But nothing, there's no really exciting, sexy answer for this, sorry, other than like whatever the next case that comes up when somebody's looking at us to save their life, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and I will say it probably isn't a lot of courage for you, but you've recently been sharing things that you like on social media. And that might not be anything to you, but that does take a lot of courage to even talk to yourself on a screen and then hit post. Like that's not easy.
I'm so glad you said that, because I didn't want to, like, I'm not gonna bring it up because it sounds kind of trivial, but like I mean now it just kind of feels, I have such good conversations with people like through Instagram, and like I love kind of the little community that I have, and like it's such fun engagement with like my friends and followers on there, that it doesn't really anymore unless there's something in particular I'm talking about. But about a year ago or a little less, whenever I first decided, like, hey, I'm gonna this looks fun. I'm already doing this. I'm already sharing things I like through like personal messages. So why don't I make it available to a broader audience? Why don't I get paid to do that? And so, yes, my Lord, it was like, I call it post and puke. So like, I'm like, you know what? Record, post it, don't rewatch it. That was a huge hump for me, especially talking about, I can talk about the law all day long, but when it comes to talking about other stuff, I had to go through this, like, I went through this mental, like, Rolodex of like, well, do people care what I have to say? What if they don't like that? What if they disagree? What if they think it's silly? And then I got to a point where I was like, I don't care. If they do, they're not my friends. They don't pay my bills. And then so once I kind of sorted out all of my excuses to myself, it made a difference. But it's funny that you bring that up, because sometimes when I first started doing that took more like kind of oomph from me than some of the work and stuff that I do. Just because it was new.
Right. And it's out, like when it's out there, it's out there. And when it's public, it's public. Like anybody has access to it and can see it. And that is scary. Like people who do that as their career full time, it's gotta be scary. But I also love how you've kept it private. Like you're sharing about the things, but like you're not giving away anything that's like personal, but you're still being so authentic with it. And that authenticity, I always struggle with that word, shines through. And I know it takes courage to be truly yourself and then post and puke, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so. Like I don't have, I do work with the public on a daily basis, but I've had people, I guess, tell me before when I finally talked to them, like, oh, I didn't realize that you were nice. I'm like, what do you mean? I feel like it being on there and being able to be like authentic and transparent about stuff, I feel like it just makes, I like to be able to do that, because I feel like people feel like it's genuine, especially when I talk back and forth with everybody on there. I want them to know that it's the same as like when you see me in the courtroom or like, walking out of the courthouse. I think, I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is who you are. And it's like different from being who I am and like you're an arm's length or you're in my network or my circle, and being who you are for everyone to have a little access to, even though we're only showing them a portion of your life. Yeah. Very, not scripted, but like contained part of your life. It's still who you are. And you've done such a good job of it. And I know it's taken a lot of courage. So
that means so much to me. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. We've got two more cupcakes left.
Yes, I think we have regular strawberry and then best for last chocolate.
That's right.
Wait, there's 2 different chocolates.
There are.
Yes.
There is double milk chocolate, and then chocolate. So I have double milk chocolate, I think, but I can also pull out just the chocolate. I think chocolate with brown and chocolate with yellow. Is that what you see?
Yes, that's what I see.
Okay, let's just go strawberry, and then we can try the last.
Okay.
This one's got the strawberry chunks. Now I get flashbacks to strawberry chunks to my favorite Starbucks drink, the strawberry refresher, when they put the inclusions. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I am not a Starbucks girly. I know, so I got no clue.
Yeah, no, they put these chunky, dried strawberries, so then they get soggy, and then you're sucking it up through a straw, and then the back of your throat just gets hit with the soggy strawberry, and it's disgusting. Whoever came up with it should be fired. So, seeing the strawberries in here gives me a little bit of fear, but just maybe a little crumbly. You see those little dots?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good cupcake. I feel like it's more moist than the red velvet. Again, still a fan of the icing consistency. I just do not like strawberry desserts. I want my desserts to be like chocolate, savory, chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm.
It's not a bad cupcake though, honestly. I mean, I'm gonna eat one more bite.
And it's giving me kind of pound cake, like a strawberry pound cake. Is what this one gave me the feelings for.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go into chocolate, the big question for you is, what would you say is your definition of courage?
I knew this one was going to get me. I wish I had some like lovely version of like a Webster definition of this, but I just think about when I think about courage and that word, like what pops into my mind. And obviously, like, because we use our own experiences and our own mindset when we're defining things. I think about what I do, and I think about my job, and I think about other things that I've dealt with. And one of the words that pops into my head is just unpopular, right? Because whether it's doing this job or whether it's taking a certain stance on certain things, an action, a statement, I think anytime you know or you even think that it's going to be an unpopular position, if you still roll with that and you still decide to do that thing, to take that action, to make that statement, that takes a lot of courage. And I always think about, like, this sounds a little bit harsh, but I think about when I get nervous about saying something or doing something or taking a certain case. I think about, like, I don't want to be a sheep, and I hate to, like, call people that, but I don't want to be a sheep. I don't want to follow the herd. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing just because that's what everybody else is doing. I mean, if that's the right thing to do, lovely. That feels really good when, like, you want to join the crowd because it's the right thing to do. But that's not always going to be the case. And so I think that's kind of what I think about. And I also think about just action, period. Sometimes, no matter what direction it goes in, I think, and especially in this job, I'm fortunate that I love what I do. I have a great office. I am friends with some of the most brilliant minds legal minds in this country. And I'm fortunate that I can rely on them, and I can pick up the phone, and I'll be in trial and it's 11 o'clock one night and I call one of these lawyers and I'm like, help me. And so I think it makes me good at my job, honestly. And we win a lot of cases, but we don't win them all. We lose cases too. And that's hard to deal with, but just the pushing forward, kind of persevering through that, knowing it might be great, but it might not be. I was at a training this past weekend, and one of the speakers read, I don't know if you've ever heard the poem, I don't know if it was a poem or like a speech, but Teddy Roosevelt gave it, and it's called The Man in the Arena. And you should look it up. It's powerful. And I actually, when they read it, I'm like, that sounds familiar. And I realized, I came back to my office and looked at it. I have it taped on the inside behind this chair. I have it taped on the inside of my desk. And I can't, God knows, I can't recite the whole thing, but basically the end talks about, you may end up knowing, like, the reward of triumph, but you may end up knowing defeat. But in either way, at the end of the line is something to the effect of, but you'll never be among the timid and cold souls that know neither. The people who just didn't achieve, but also didn't fail, almost like playing it safe. And I love that because it reminds me about what I do and the decisions that I make on a daily basis to keep doing this, and that I might fail, but I'm going to fail while trying greatly is I think what one of the lines are in the poem. So anyways, I think that's relates a lot to courage too. And sometimes it's just acting, period.
Yeah, that's so true, and a really good take on it that we haven't had so far. So thank you so much for sharing that. And we've got 2 more cupcakes to try. The chocolate guys. You want to do chocolate with brown or chocolate with yellow icing?
Best for last. Let's do the double chocolate.
Okay, perfect. And this guy's cute. Little rainbow heart.
He's so cute.
Good amount of icing.
Okay, mid-miss.
Yep. This one's already crumbly. Oh, makes me nervous. Okay. Oh, this looks so good. I am so excited about this one. Okay, maybe as good as it looks.
Lose my headphones. What do you think?
I love the icing. It's giving me more rich brownie.
Yeah, it's a
chocolate cake.
It tastes like a brownie. The cake part tastes like a brownie. It's good. It's got a good flavor. But I have had better double chocolates, honestly. I like it though.
Well, and just the icing by itself is really rich. So I feel like we need both, but I feel like I wanted it to be like so good.
It's hard I rarely meet a chocolate cake I don't like, so I would eat this whole thing, but it is not the best I've had. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the cupcake part tastes like a brownie. It's good.
Yeah. But the icing is so rich by itself. I don't know if I could continue to eat just the icing because it's so...
Oh, I would eat probably like a container and a half of it, honestly.
Okay, do you want to try the last one with the yellow?
Yes, I have a good feeling about this one.
And you know what? This one might be... It's just chocolate cupcakes with light yellow vanilla buttercream. So it's got a lot of names. So this one might taste really different. I thought they would taste the same. My little cupcake plate is so full.
I'm just eating directly out of this container, like, though.
That's probably what I should. Okay, this guy's cute, and I might just be blind, but the cake looks darker. But I think I'm going crazy. Yeah, they're the same. I'm going crazy. Okay, this icing looks fabulous.
The icing looks so good.
Light yellow vanilla buttercream.
This is not as in your face.
No. That's so good.
I need another bite.
This one and waffle might be my favorite.
Waffle, really?
This one's good.
I like it. It's better than the double chocolate.
It's not giving me brownie.
It's not. So maybe you're right. Maybe the cake is different.
It's got they look the same.
It might be the contrast, like with the double chocolate, it's so much chocolate. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, this one is really good.
Okay, so let's rank them. You don't have to, because we just dived into 6. So you do not have to rank them from 1 to 6, but give me maybe top and bottom. What would you say out of this BFF dozen?
The bottom is going to be the strawberry for me, but it's not because it wasn't a good cupcake. It's just that's not my vibe. And I would say the top is The top is probably the vanilla, the regular buttercream, and this chocolate buttercream, which is very, like, I kind of almost could have expected that.
Yeah. There's no
What do you think?
there. Yeah, I think if I were to pick up, I always like, if I picked up my fork now, which one would I put it in? And I think it would go back into waffle. And then which one was the crumbly one? Was it vanilla? Not vanilla. Red velvet.
The red velvet was the one. The only reason the red velvet didn't get kind of a top spot for me is just because it was a little dry. But the flavor of the red velvet was fantastic.
Yeah, they're definitely onto something there. I think all of the podcasts, we've tried different cupcakes that are all shipped. So, like, these are, overnighted to us. Mm-hmm. I think this one definitely has the best icing. So for icing lovers, like, this is the best.
I'm so glad it landed on my day.
Yeah, I just had a feeling. And they're good sized cupcakes. Like, we've tried really big cupcakes and like really tiny cupcakes. So yeah, I think I kind of want to like make my own, like, this icing on this cake.
Ooh, mix and match. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's too messy. So I'll leave it as it is. But thank you so much for coming on to Cake and Courage, trying different cake flavors with us and talking about what courage looks like in your life. If people are not already following you or connected with you, how can they do that?
So like professionally or personally?
Whichever
either.
One. Yeah.
So we are, my personal page that I do like share a lot of my run stuff on, like a lot of my, I guess I share work wins on there too, but on my Instagram is _AdrienneBB. And then on Facebook, we share more of our business stuff and some of our wins. And we're just Tucker and Browning on Facebook. I'm also on Facebook. I just do more on Instagram. So either way, happy to have conversations about anything legal related. We're on Facebook, Tucker and Browning, and then obviously just hanging out, talking about cats or running or cupcakes on Instagram. Happy to have new friends.
Yes, I love it. Thank you again so much. Any final words you would like to give about courage, or you think you're tapped out?
Don't ever ask a lawyer that. Do not ever ask a lawyer that. No, I think we really covered everything. Thanks for letting me kind of nerd out into some of the the legal side of it, I guess. But I'm really proud of you in this triathlon. Like, I cannot wait to hear more about that.
We're in triathlon.
Don't you minimize it. That is still the same thing.
This is right. Well, thank you. You have always been a woman that I look up to, of courage, of getting through what you've gone through, choosing just to have a hard profession, and then to doing it with so much grace and love and being truly who you are. I think it's just such a good example that so many women and men need, that they can choose a hard career, but that doesn't have to be their whole life. And I think you truly show that with how you live your life and what you share online, and you inspire me and so many other people. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing what courage looks like in your daily life, in your past, and what you have coming. So thank you so much. I'll let you finish the cupcakes or share them with your office. Tell everyone I say hello, and thank you again so much.
I will tell them thank you so much for having me. That means so much to everything that you just said. I'm so honored to be a small portion of this project that you're doing. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Bye.